Sometimes when you're working in AutoCAD Electrical, you need what is known as a connector drawing. So what we're going to look at here is a typical connector drawing. Now I'm just going to create a basic connector drawing at the moment. And what I've done is in the Demo 05 project, in the project manager, I've added a new drawing, Demo 10, which we've got open at the moment. Now, don't worry about adding the drawing and how it affects the project and everything, because we'll look at that later on in the course. All I want to show you is how these connectors work and how they sit inside a typical connector drawing. I'm in the Schematic tab on the ribbon, go to the Insert Components panel, and the connectors are here. So I insert a connector. Now, connectors are parametric, and again, this parametric linking of blocks and attributes allows you to work effectively in your connector drawing. We've got a pin spacing of 0.75 inches, 3/4 of an inch, 4 pins on the connector, and they're fixed spacing, and the pin list starts at 1. Now that can be changed to something like 0, 1 if you need it to. Nothing to stop you changing that. We're going to insert all of them, and I'm not going to worry about spaces or breaks. I'll show you how all of that works later on in the course. What you can do is you can flip the connector to suit any wiring that's in your connector drawing. So I'll just leave it as it is, and I'll click on Insert. And as soon as you do that, there it is there. I click. That inserts it into the drawing. Now, sometimes you do get this funny thing appear on the screen. Don't worry about that too much. That's just your graphics card. And all you've got to do there is type regen, so R-E-G-E-N. It does happen. It's just your graphics card not catching up with the graphic when it goes into the drawing. So if I type regen now, that will just regenerate the model. And as you can see, any debris is gone. It's just a graphics card thing. It does happen occasionally. Happens in regular AutoCAD and other Autodesk products as well. It's just a hardware issue. Nothing to worry about. So zoom in, and there's your connector there. Now what I can do now is I can select my connector. I can right click. I can edit the component there. So at the moment the component tag is PJ something. So let's change that to 001. And then I click on OK. And there's your connector in your typical connector drawing. Now, I'm not going to bore you by drawing wires and so on and so forth, but what you would do is you'd make sure that that component is in your drawing, and your wires would come off of these connection points here, 01, 02, 03, and if I just pan up, 04. So that's a connector drawing, and what you would do is insert connectors to allow you to have multiple connections. So you'd have wiring going into these points, and then your connector may link to a different part of the AutoCAD electrical project. It might go to a panel, for example, in a panel drawing, and all these wires join onto the panel, and that's where the buttons are, so the on-off switches, the pilot lights, and so on. And that's saving you time by actually allowing you just to connect to a connector instead of taking all those wire connections into the panel drawing itself. So that's how you work with a typical connector drawing in AutoCAD Electrical.